Someone handed you a list of sins that God never wrote, and you've been apologizing for it ever since. Today, we're correcting that. 7 things you've carried as spiritual shame that the Bible never actually condemned. Stay with me. Some of you are about to breathe for the first time in years. 1. Feeling anger. Ephesians 4:26 doesn't say don't be angry. It says be angry and do not sin. God knew anger was coming. He built it into you. Jesus braided a whip and flipped tables. That wasn't a spiritual failure. That was righteous emotion doing exactly what it was made to do. Anger at injustice, at cruelty, at someone you love being harmed, that's your soul recognizing something is wrong. The sin isn't the feeling. It's what some people do with it. You don't owe anyone an apology for having a conscience. Doubting or asking questions, Thomas refused to believe in the resurrection until he saw the evidence himself. And Jesus didn't cast him out. He showed up and said, "Look, touch the wounds, see for yourself." Job questioned God from the bottom of real suffering. God called him a man who spoke what is right. If your faith can't survive a question, the problem isn't the question. Doubt isn't the opposite of faith. Pretending is. Your honesty with God is not a sin. It might be the most real thing about your relationship with Him. Struggling with depression or anxiety? Elijah called down fire from heaven, one of the most dramatic miracles in Scripture, and then sat under a tree and told God, "I've had enough. Take my life." God's response? Food, rest, presence, not rebuke. David, a man after God's own heart, wrote, "Darkness is my closest friend," in a psalm that made it into Holy Scripture. Mental health struggles are not spiritual weakness. They are not proof that your faith is small. They are proof that you are human. And God, who made you, has never once asked you to pretend otherwise. Setting boundaries. Luke 5:16. Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. He had thousands of people who genuinely needed healing. He still stepped away. Protecting your peace is not abandoning people. Recognizing that a relationship is destroying you is not a lack of love. The religious guilt that says you must make yourself endlessly available, even to people causing you real harm, that didn't come from God. It came from people who benefited from your lack of limits. Setting a boundary is not a sin. Sometimes it's the most loving thing you can do. Resting. The Sabbath is the 4th commandment, right next to don't murder. God didn't bury rest in a footnote. He baked it into the structure of creation itself. Your worth is not your output. That lie came from culture, from systems that need you to keep producing. Jesus slept during a storm. He sat by wells. He went to dinner parties. He lived with rhythm. Resting isn't laziness. According to God, it's obedience. Not forgiving instantly. Someone hurt you badly, and you've tried to forgive, but the feeling won't cooperate with the decision. So you've quietly concluded there's something wrong with your soul. There isn't. Forgiveness is a decision, not a feeling. It's not pretending the wound doesn't exist. It's not automatic trust. It's not grief with a deadline. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them," while he was still bleeding on the cross, not after the resurrection when everything was fine. He chose forgiveness inside the pain, not instead of it. You're allowed to be in process. God sees the difference between someone who refuses to forgive and someone who is broken and trying. That's not sin. That's someone doing the hardest work of their life. leaving a church that was hurting you. This is the one that needs to be said plainly. You left a church, and the guilt has followed you everywhere. Like you walked out on God himself.
But you didn't leave God. You left a building run by human beings, sometimes protecting human agendas. And the people who told you leaving was the same as backsliding were the same people who needed you to stay silent. The early church met in homes, in fields, in catacombs. God was never in the walls. If that place was using scripture to shame you, control you, or silence your questions, leaving wasn't faithlessness, it was survival. God didn't stay in that building when you walked out. He walked out with you. 7 things, 7 weights that were never yours to carry. There is a difference between God and the gatekeepers who claim to speak for him. The God of Scripture ran down the road toward the prodigal son before the apology was even finished. He's not counting the things you've been ashamed of. He's asking the same question he asked in the garden.
Where are you? Not to condemn you, to find you. Share this with someone still carrying something that was never theirs. And if this hit home, drop a comment. You are not alone in this.